What is going on, everyone? This is Eric coming at you from just outside of Hartford, Connecticut, and today we're going to look at the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. Now we're going to, kind of look over what happened in the round of 12, and then we're going to somewhat focus on the round of 8. So basically, the standings after the round of 12 came to an end were somewhat interesting. There weren't too many surprises for the 4 drivers that were cut, but there were almost going to be. So, in first place, we had Denny Hamlin. Now, Denny, he took a big win in Vegas. It was his first win in Las Vegas. He was very excited. And that race came down to the wire. Him versus Chase Elliott till the very end. Chase was ganging on him due to lap traffic, but Denny was probably the top driver from the beginning of that race. So, after winning in Vegas, he kind of just took it easy in Talladega. There was no point in risking it. And he was doing pretty well in the Charlotte Roval. But he didn't need to win, so he wasn't putting any extra stress on himself, if that makes sense. So, pretty impressive, all said and done for him. He's definitely one of the top 2 favorites going into the round of 8. He's definitely looked like the class of the Toyotas, the Joe Gibbs racing cars, all that good stuff. So, he's got to be excited. A side note, the car that he's a part owner of, 2311's Bubba Wallace, ended up winning in Talladega. Now, there's a lot of comments going out there saying, oh, well, it's a rain-shortened race, doesn't count. It counts. It's a race. It's a win. Fact of the matter is, I might not be the biggest Bubba Wallace fan, but it's a win. You got to give the man credit. He was in the right place at the right time. It's not like they controlled the weather. It could have gone different ways, but it's a win. A win's a win. Congratulations to Bubba Wallace. Denny's definitely looking like he's in the right position, so he's trending up. Second place, we have Kyle Larson. Larson's been the best driver in the Cup Series this year up to this point, and he once again showed it. He was running decently in Las Vegas. He was okay in Talladega. He wasn't great because he had a bit of an accident early on. I don't remember who it was that hit him, but someone hit him into the wall, did some heavy damage to his side, and then he ended up winning 2 days ago at this point in the Charlotte Roval Road Course, so that was a very impressive win for him. He goes in with a win. So him and Denny are definitely fighting. Larson, though, 2 of his Hendricks Motorsports teammates did not make it to this next round, so we'll get to them soon. But Larson is still doing very good. I'd be pretty excited if I'm a Kyle Larson fan. He's a very good driver. His car is among the best, so he's definitely continuing to stay in the right direction, I should say. Third place, we have my favorite driver, Joey Logano, driver of Penske Ford. And Logano, he hasn't been in the top for any of these races recently, outside of Talladega, but he's consistent. So he's getting those stage points. He's staying in the top 10 most races. That's good. Hopefully he can figure it out and advance further, because he kind of needs a win. The only win he had this year, of course, was on the dirt in Bristol, but you can make a lot of cases that there were some races that he could have won, and he should have won, such as the Daytona 500, where he got bumped by Brad Keselowski, who got bumped by Michael McDowell. But we're not going to do that again. So Joey Logano is definitely a type of guy who consistency is going to help him, but when you're in the round of 8, you kind of need to get a win, because everyone's consistent in the round of 8. Speaking of the Penske Fords, we're going to look at Ryan Blaney. Now, Blaney entered the playoffs on an upwards trajectory. He had won the last 2 races of the regular season. Since then, he's been okay. He hasn't been impressive, but he hasn't been bad. He's not, running away with these races. It's not like Blaney's dominating any stretch of the words domination anymore. But he's still a very good driver in a solid Penske Ford, so he's definitely doing good. The fact that Logano's up there with him helps him, but we'll have to see with Ryan Blaney this year. I'd like to see him continue, but I don't know if he's going to do it. Logano is more consistent right now than Blaney has been in the playoffs, but still, Blaney's been good. He's had a couple good runs. He's had a couple okay runs. It's going to come down to these 2 cars if they can continue to work together. In 5th place, we have Kyle Busch. Now, Kyle Busch, of course, he got a lot of slack for what he did in the first race of the playoffs, but he's kind of rebounded since. He hasn't been a top threat. He hasn't been leading any races, really, but he has been consistent. He's been doing what he can do. He's one of the better drivers, obviously. He's one of the most well-known drivers, and he's continuing to be consistent in the playoffs this year. Now, he needs to get a win, and he hasn't really gotten a win in a little bit, but he's constantly at the top of the polls when they start the races. He's constantly near the top. He has a good crew chief, so Kyle Busch definitely has a good chance to make a run. Like I said, he hasn't done too much in these past 3 races. He wasn't a leader for the majority of the races or anything like that, but you never really expect that in Talladega for Kyle Busch, and you don't expect it in the Roval, so he's definitely a sleeper for me to win the championship this year. In 6th place, we have Chase Elliott. So let's just discuss the Chase-Harvick feud. So, as you probably remember, back in Bristol, these two drivers got into it with one another. Chase kind of bumped into Harvick after Harvick bumped into Chase. So, these two guys kind of got mad. And then in the Roval on Sunday, these two drivers got into it again. So, they were racing near each other. And then Harvick ended up bumping Chase, messed up Chase's back bumper as Chase bumped into the wall. Chase tried to get Harvick back, but missed because Harvick kind of sped up and got away from him. In the end, first off, Chase should have been black flagged for his bumper hanging off like it was, but because it's Elliott, he didn't get black flagged, so that's my little rant for that. But Chase, he ends up having his bumper fly out, gets a caution, very sus, but again, because it's Chase Elliott, nothing happened. And, Chase Elliott ends up getting close to Kevin Harvick. And Harvick sees Chase in his mirror, and then suddenly he smashes into the wall, messes up his car. So, yeah, Chase wins. And, of course, you can't forget his one-liner of, what did he say? Merry off-season and Happy Christmas. That's just amazing. I got to give him credit for that. But Elliott has not been trending in the right direction. He did almost overcome Denny in Vegas. He was less than a half second behind him, but a lot of that can be due to lap traffic. He was gaining on him in the last 10 laps. So Elliott's trending in the right direction, but he was expected to do very well at the Roval. Even before his wreck, he wasn't doing all that great. He was very close to the cut line all said and done, but he got a bit lucky. So we'll have to see with Chase Elliott, but I don't know if he's going to repeat as champion. 7th place, we have Brad Keselowski, so that means the 3 Penske Fords all made it to the round of 8. I'm very happy for that. But Brad has had some problems. We saw him get spun around a little bit at the Roval on Sunday, so that's not good. He was running decently in Talladega. He ran okay in Las Vegas. So he's like Logano. Those two are very consistent drivers that right now they kind of need to get a win to continue. But it's going to be fun to watch how these two drivers compete. And don't forget they have Blaney. So, of course, all 3 Penske Fords are going to work together, but they're also going to kind of have their better interests in mind at the same time. So, it's going to be interesting to see how they do that, if they continue to work together or if they kind of just split off. But Brad, I think he's going to be lost in the round of 8. I'd say he's the first guy I'm definitely sure won't make it to the round of 4. And then in 8th place, we have Martin Truex Jr. Now, Martin Truex Jr., he looked very good at times, but he looked very bad at times. In Talladega, he wasn't there. And part of that was he was trying to help out Christopher Bell, who we'll get to in a minute, but he had his moments where he wasn't great, he wasn't horrible. Now, he may have finished in 8th, right above the cut line, but he had a good, solid lead above the 9th place car because the 9th place car, Kevin Harvick, had wrecked. Still, though, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Truex is a guy who I definitely think will be advancing, has a good chance to advance to the round of 4, the finals, the championship, but we'll have to see. Of course, Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin are in the playoffs with him. So you have the three of the 4 Joe Gibbs cars and the 3 Penske cars, so they're all going to be working together on paper. If it actually happens, we'll see. And of course, you have 2 Hendrick Motorsports cars in the finals in the round of 8. So you have a bunch of teammates up here. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting to watch what happens. Now, quick shout out to Tyler Reddick, just because he's been doing so good, but unfortunately he didn't get cut in the round of 12. So I just got to give him that shout out. He finished 2nd in the Roval. He finished, he was right up there in Vegas. I think he was in 4th. So you got to feel for him. He just missed out on the round of 12. He probably would have made it to the round of 8. Now, we have the eliminated teams, the eliminated drivers. 9th place, Kevin Harvick. Already discussed the Chase feud there. So had he not bumped into Chase and got his quote-unquote revenge, we'd have to see. Would he have made it to the next round? There's a chance. He would have been fighting Truex. But he still would have needed a great run to do it. I think he could have done it. I think we would be talking about Martin Truex here, but we'll have to see. I don't know why he crashed. I was listening to Chase's radio, and Chase was laughing at him. So, Harvick though, it's a tough end for the season. He's still driving, of course, but maybe Harvick's going to be able to knock Chase out in Martinsville. We'll have to see if he can get his sweet revenge. But if he does that, he's going to face the Iron Fist of NASCAR. 10th place, Christopher Bell. So Bell had a rotten day in Las Vegas, and that led to his teammates Truex and Denny trying to help him in Talladega. Kyle Busch even dropped down to help him a little bit in Talladega. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out for him. He wasn't great in Talladega, but he wasn't awful in Talladega. But still, in the road course at the Roval, he had some more problems, and he was just didn't look that great at times. It's a good season for him. I mean, this was his first year running with Joe Gibbs, so you got to give him credit. He had a good year, all things considered. He has a very bright future. I'm still surprised that his only win came at a road course, though. So he's still got a bright future. Now in 11th place, we have William Byron. Byron had some really rotten luck at times. I completely understand that. And he was running very well at the Roval. I mean, he was up there in the top 3, I believe, until the final, I think, 5 laps or 10 laps. And then he kind of crashed. But it was one of those things where he needed the win to advance, and he knew he needed the win to advance. So he had to be aggressive. If he had the points, he would have probably been able to finish top 3, if not top 5. So, very solid end in the Roval. He did, like I said, have bad luck in Vegas. He had some bad luck in the first round of the playoffs. He had some rough luck in Talladega. Yeah, Talladega, he really had some bad luck. He took a hit, and then his car started flaming. So, that was the last wreck of the day, though. So, it could have gone a little better for him had the race been able to continue in Talladega. Still, though, Byron, good season. He's got a bright future as well, just like Christopher Bell. Now, in last place, we have Alex Bowman. And while Bowman has a bit of a bright future, and he did have more wins than William Byron in the regular season, Bowman does have some concerns to me. And he just looked like he didn't show up in the Roval. That was my thing with Bowman. If you watch the Roval race in Charlotte, he just didn't really show up. He was there, but he wasn't there. You know, it was like Byron came, Bell came, they knew it was an elimination race, they knew they were on the outside looking in, and they came to race. Bell, unfortunately, wasn't able to do much with it. Byron was. Bowman came in like, oh, you know, I got a good point cushion, I have a chance to make the playoffs regardless, I have a chance to advance. So, it's a bit of a head scratcher. I don't know what the heck was going on with that. Still, though, Bowman, solid season for him. It's good to see the 48 car live on. It was nice to see the 48 car in victory lane again, but we'll have to see. Now, for the next round of the playoffs, round of 8, we have 3 races. We have Texas, then we have Kansas, then we have Martinsville. Martinsville, as an elimination race, is going to be lethal. It's going to be amazing to watch. So, we'll have to see what happens, but I think it's safe to say you're probably going to have, if I had to predict the championship race for Phoenix, I'd say your 4 drivers that will be competing are Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin. It's tough. It's tough from there. I'd have to say I think Truex is going to have a decent chance, and it's kind of a coin flip to me for the last place. I'd hope Logano gets it, but I think NASCAR is going to do whatever they can to make sure Chase gets it. And I think Blaney has a shot to make it as well. So it's going to be fun. You can never count out Kyle Busch either. I'm looking forward to this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video again. I'm going to probably do a video after the Kansas race. Discuss the drive, probably 1 if not 2 drivers that have clinched their spots into the championship race. So hope you guys enjoyed this again. This was our NASCAR round of 8, round of 12 recap. So yeah, have a good rest of your day.